telcos, one of their biggest expense is power in their facilities and out on their plant. But as we see, we're moving towards a distributed architecture out in the field. I think that the industry has to start thinking more, not just about power, but energy, and how we power the network and our services can come from anywhere. So I think that's another thing that the industry has to start focusing on is all these Internet of Things, 5G, cell towers, nodes, you name it, all require power. So again, I reiterate, it's one of the biggest expenditures for these operators. And so they have to start coming up with different solutions and thinking just in terms of power. I like to flip it and think of energy. No matter where you get it, you're going to need it.
I think the edge processing that we're moving towards out of necessity actually, but I think it'll make it easier to manage this. Solar energy is getting really close to being not only feasible but less costly than using traditional power actually. And so having processing out in the field gives you more space, to target power supplies with solar power and those newer technologies. But I think the trends we're going to see is the more we move towards these types of energy, they require storage, right? Like batteries and stuff. So it's going to make less and less sense to use AC power and to convert back to DC to go in batteries and back to AC again to the equipment, whatever. The equipment is going to become more and more DC, and so will the power supplies. So it will allow us to grasp that energy from the sun and put it directly into the equipment.
I mean, you're seeing it already. I mean, all in the news, right? Tesla. They started already doing their homes, their roofing tiles, their home battery packs. So I mean, if you can run a home off solar powers just from the area of your roof, there's no reason why you couldn't have some sort of similar setup with remote sites, cell towers, you name it, right out there in the field somewhere. So yeah. And none of that, you're seeing wind, I mean, you name it, all different energy, whatever energy in whatever form it comes, we have to start thinking about harnessing that power of the networks.
So all of this power and these better use of energy and we'll need a smart grid type thing, a two-way communication between our devices and to collect this data to better manage. Maybe a cell could go on somewhat of a standby mode, right? Consume less power, and you see this with multiple and thousands of devices out there. It starts showing a lot of good savings, but we need this two-way communication in order to see what's being used, what's not, how we could change to solar, how we could just shut down, how could we just maybe use half of core processing or stuff like this, right? So the intelligent, but we need this two-way communication in order to do very deep analysis on the data in order to make it extremely intelligent, and we could serve probably the same things, but with just the new AI techniques.
I think, sharing the technology, I guess.
Absolutely.
Like they're talking about relaying information instead of having these big, powerful towers. Just pass it along over smaller distribution, and so I think the same will happen with power. We'll use power wherever it's available. Like, if every household has,
Battery banks.
Yeah, battery banks, but solar cells on, on the rooftops.
Yep.
It can be used maybe to power
Why not?
a microcell
That's
or
it.
to power an edge device. Share the load.
Collectively,
Exactly.
so that power is not lost, because AC power is just,
Like you said,
Right.
a big power grid, but instead of all coming from one central location,
Right.
it can be spread out there, but still work in an ecosystem that's
That's it.
coherent, right?
Yeah.
I read, I just read that they're passing a law in California that new homes have to have solar panels on. You can't build a home in California, a new home, brand new build without solar panels. So that eventually that will collect, energy and store it. And like you said, a smart grid is exactly what you're talking about, a mesh grid or whatever you want to talk about, where it's not just one distribution point. You're going to have power out there, and with the data, the information that you're collecting and where the usage is, you can quickly transfer that power to where it's needed. And
It's about it's about time, because nobody seems to talk about this, but you need oil to produce these solar cells, right? Or even to produce computer chips and to produce a lot of stuff. And right now we're burning it all. So we better hurry up and make solar panels before, if we don't convert now, we're gonna hit a wall there soon. So yeah. Anyway.
and this way of building these chips and stuff with oil probably will be a thing in the past.
Yeah, it's gonna.
as well.
They're gonna have to come
So
up with
it's
you.
just will evolve over time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.